Hey, everybody. Hope you can all hear me okay. Thumbs up if you can. Put a one in the chat, maybe. 111. Yep, okay. Let's wait for a few other people before we get started. Hey, Josh. Hey, Andrew. Maria. Perfect. Okay, I think that's everybody in here. Let's get started. Welcome to our first monthly workshop. July 2025, and this one is called How to Fill Your Spring 2026 Calendar starting this summer. And we want to start strong, grow fast, and Spring 2026 effectively starts now. So before we start, if I can ask you just to turn your cell phones off and give me your attention, close your social media accounts, and if you're serious about getting more leads, give me 20, 25 minutes just to walk you through some things here about how we can get ready for 2026. And of course, the question is, why are we talking about 2026 now? And who am I? Well, my name is Graham, and I'm from Arborist Growth Partners, which was formerly TreeCare SEO Services. We did a little bit of rebranding recently, and one of the things that I wanted to do was start bringing webinars to you guys, which we're going to call workshops. And the idea behind these workshops is we can give you actionable hints and tips that you can start applying in your own business and get more presence on Google. So I'm the author of Digital Marketing Tree Service Companies. If you have a copy of that, that's great. If not, I could always send you a copy if you let me know. It gives you basically a playbook from start to end of how to get more leads, more presence in Google and other search engines. And actually working on the second edition for the TCIA Expo coming up in October as well. Arborist Growth Partners works exclusively with tree service companies. So we're really focused on niche, understanding more about your business and how you work so that we can really do the best for our clients, as simple as that. And we're a member of the International Society of Arboriculture and the Tree Care Industry Association too. We do tree service marketing. That's basically it. Originally, we started out as an SEO company, and I was simply freelancing and helping build websites for tree service companies and do their SEO as well. And we're trying to expand what we do to really help in a very holistic way with all of the marketing that tree service companies might need to get more business and actually grow. Hence the transition between TreeCare SEO Services and Arborist Growth Partners. So why am I talking to you about 2026 today? Because it's the middle of summer, it's July. Well, I've noticed a pattern with tree service companies, and this is that they get very busy in probably in late spring for the most part, and then they're busy through the summer. And when I talk to tree service companies and suggest working together to grow the business, they always tell me they're too busy. The problem is, as soon as the fall comes and things slow off, depending on which region you're actually living in, whether you have seasons, I get calls and I get emails. We need leads now. Can you help me? And I always tell people, well, yeah, we can. We can certainly bring you some leads now for sure, but you should have implemented a marketing strategy for a longer period of time, because if we start now, we're going to be working up ready for spring and summer of next year. It's as simple as that. These things take time, and sure, there are some tactics and some strategies that we can use to bring leads in fairly quickly, but seasons are a problem. And that's why we don't want to just start and stop. We want to make sure that we carry on with our marketing for a long period of time and really invest in it over time as well. Momentum and consistent growth simply takes time. It's as easy as that. Let's just check everybody in the chat here. Any questions there so far? No. Good. Okay, give me a one if you're still here. One. Good. Perfect. I'll continue. I just want to give you an example of what I say by things take time. let's assume that we wanted to build some SEO, an SEO campaign, which is search engine optimization. We have a website and we wanted to appear in the map pack so that people can type in a phrase such as tree service near me, and we would appear right at the top of the map pack. And hopefully they would click on our website and engage with us to do their business. When we start the work of SEO, we have to do things in a number of phases. And what we do is we break them down in terms of quarters and in terms of what to expect for a period of a year. So first 3 months, Q1, we lay the foundation. We do all of the work that we need to get the rankings starting to go up, such as creating an optimized website. We might be getting citations and getting ourselves listed in directories. We would make sure that we were optimized against our competitors in our area, people that might have stronger websites than us. We might start gathering Google reviews and trying to close the gap between us and our competitors. Month 4 to 6, Q2, we generally see some traction happening as those directories get indexed in Google, our pages get indexed in Google, the relationships and the strength of our website increases, and we start to actually publish some additional content on websites, such as geolocation service pages. If we were working in multiple areas, perhaps we want to put in some local content to drive some engagement with people that interact with us. Month 7 and 9, so Q3 and Q4, is really where we start to build momentum. And we don't just stop there. We keep going with the work, keep putting the investment in, so that over time we become the authority in our local area and also satellite areas that we might want to work in. But here's the thing. That's a period of a year. You can't expect things to work on month 1. You actually have to put work in for a long period of time. And that doesn't mean that you have to wait a year to get results or get leads. Certainly leads come in a lot quicker than that, but you have to get the engine fueled up and you have to get it turning, and that takes some time. And it's true of pay-per-click campaigns such as Google Ads as well. Those often take some time to get some traction. So what I wanted to suggest to you guys today was thinking about your online strategy literally starting today. So we're in the middle of July. I think it's the 21st of July. Check my calendar there. And what I want to do is I want to kind of stoke the fire in the fuel and get you guys thinking about implementing some of these things now, so that you could get some traction during winter, but you can come out strong in spring. It's as simple as that. Talking spring 2026. So what sort of online strategy do we actually need? Well, an optimized website that's built to convert is obviously number one. People still interact with websites. AI is coming in and people are spending more time on AI and clicking less to websites. But for local services like tree service companies, a strong website is very important. When we say optimized, we say a website that allows Google to understand the location that we serve and allows us to appear in the map packs, because there's some context between the website and where our location is, our Google Business Profile. And built to convert means we've got to make it enticing for people to get in contact with us. We've got to make it easy for people to get in contact with us as well. The other thing we want to do, I just shown you the diagram there of SEO over a period of a year. We want to do proactive SEO that works. It's as simple as that. And there's some formulas that you can use, and there's some processes that you can use in order to do this on your own website. I'm going to more about this type of thing in the next workshops, the next webinars that we do. But for now, I'm just giving you a little rundown of the important things that we do and we recommend people do as well. So we got the website, we got the proactive SEO, the Google Maps optimization. That's a super important thing as well. And when we say Google Maps optimization, it's almost a holistic thing in itself, because what that means is review and reputation management. It means the optimized website. It means your Google Business Profile being optimized. All of this geolocated information coming together. to actually get you on top of the maps. Focus on the maps, because when people actually go to Google to search for something, they really do hit the maps first, as opposed to any other result. And if you're at the top of the maps for tree removal services in your area, chances are you're going to get the business. When we create an optimized website, like I said, it takes some time for things to take off. We could do all of the optimization in the world we want, but because of that time delay, we might want to start a strategic pay-per-click campaign. Social media presence can be important as well, publishing posts that are on your website to create engagement with clients. We talk about perhaps posting things in Facebook particular times of the year. For example, when we're coming up into winter here in the Ottawa area, might be a good time to be posting about something like oak wilt and working on your oak trees, because obviously that's a seasonal thing. It's good to make people aware. Email marketing campaign as well could be an important thing for you to consider as you do business with people. Often not, you get their phone numbers, their names, and also email addresses. If you have a nice database of email addresses, there's no reason why you can't build a monthly newsletter that goes out to your audience, to your previous customers, that keeps you top of mind with them, and perhaps they come and do some business with you. Again, think of sending a newsletter out in the winter, telling people, and now is the time to work on their oak trees. The other thing we want to do when we got an online strategy, very important that we track and measure the KPIs, okay? Because if we can't measure things, then we can't see improvement, and we can't see areas where we have to improve. So let's step into this first of all. What is an optimized website? So how many of you guys have websites? Give me a 1 in the chat if you have a website. Yep, Dan's got one. Kelly's got one. And how strong do you consider your websites to be? Are you happy with them, or you think there could be some improvement, or is it something like a website out of the 80s? Yep, Tom's like, I really need to fix my website. It looks like something out of the 90s, including their haircuts. That's pretty funny. Yep, there's some people definitely want improvements. And there's a couple of people here. Shane, very happy with their website. They worked with a digital marketing company to create something modern. Fantastic. So let's take an example here. This is a website that we worked on for a client that had a single page website originally that we built for them because they didn't have any website. We ultimately, after the single page website, we increased our engagement with the client. We created an optimized website. So we had separate pages for tree removal, separate pages for stump grinding, trimming, etc. Everything was optimized beautifully. And before the website started getting any traction at all, we started to use Google Ads, and we drove initial leads using paid per click. We got 113 leads after 6 months on a monthly basis, and the client increased their closing rate to around 65%. And the average job value was $1,600. The average cost per lead, and I didn't put it here, but that is the pay per click. The Google Ads cost per lead was $20.47, which when you see the next numbers, seems a pretty good investment. We went from about $11,000 a month in June to $118,000 in that month. Yeah, it's summer, so maybe there's a few additional jobs coming in, but you see how the optimized website and the digital marketing really grew things and drove things. So what is an optimized website? Well, it's a website with a proper website structure that helps you appear in Google Maps. It makes it easy for people to get hold of you. It creates trust with testimonials and social proof, and it's locally focused as well. You wouldn't believe how many tree service websites I see when I first go to them. I don't even know where they do business. There's no mention of the town or the city. Maybe on the contact page, but sometimes not. So it's very difficult for me to know where they're operating. How difficult is it for a search engine like Google to know where they're operating? Localized blog articles and maybe even case studies of your work as well, so you can create engagement with your audience. Down in the bottom right here, I've got show an example of optimized website. These are little prompts here I put so that I can actually share my work on Google. Give me a second. Let me see if I can get a browser up here and share that. Talk amongst yourselves for just 1 second. Feel free to ask any questions as well. Let's see. That's the trouble with working on one screen. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let me share this. Type browser in the chat if you can see Google there. Browser. Great. Fantastic. Okay. What I am going to do here is, what am I going to do here? That's a good question. Here we go. Oops. Here we go. So let's take a look at what an optimized website looks like. This is Centrica based out of Milford, Michigan. And you can see straight away, as soon as we hit the landing page, the home page, we know that they do business in Milford. Now, they also serve Commerce, West Bloomfield, and some other areas as well. And in fact, we can build service pages specifically to those areas to help us push up in the map pack. For Milford itself, it's as simple as this homepage here. We have some social proof. We've got Google reviews here that people can read through. We also have some information about the company itself, and we have this localized blog. So we have Milford's worst tree pests, top 3 tree diseases in Milford, and let's see what else we got. New tree care made easy, essential tips for Milford homeowners. And down here we have also some more social proof with the track assessment, the ISA certified arborists, and the Michigan Oak qualified badge. Let's have a look. We also have a little map here, as well as contact detail. And this is reflected directly in a Google profile. So everything kind of links up, and everything is telling a truth of what this company is and where they're located. I mentioned geo-targeted service pages. So if I look at Arborist Consultation, for example, it says Arborist Consultation Services for Milford, Michigan. It's very straightforward. We also have this URL, Arborist Consultation Service, Milford, Michigan. What we're effectively doing is we're not letting Google or Bing or any of the search engines guess. We are telling them exactly what we want this page to mean. And when we tell them what we want this page to mean, we mean for the visitors who are typing in, I need an arborist consultation in Milford, Michigan, or I need an arborist consultation near me. Google will be able to see what this page is about. We'll be able to see what the visitor is asking for. And if we've done a good job with the rest of our optimization, this should bubble up to the top in the map pack. I mentioned as well, aside from localized blog articles, I mentioned also that we could put pages together for other areas, such as tree services for Commerce, Michigan. Commerce is next to Milford. It's a different area. We also have service pages, tree risk assessment for Commerce, Michigan. We also have tree risk assessment for Milford, Michigan. And these are not duplicated pages. These are completely different and focused on that local area. And you can see how we can build specific pages for specific areas that the business wants to do business in. And that signals to Google exactly what's going on. We also have a call now, a let's get started. And if we press that, we allow visitors to have an online virtual quote, an in-person quote, or call now. We have lots and lots of calls to actions on our website. Learn about our tree removal, learn about our tree trimming service. You see how the phone number in the top right stays in the top right? And if we go to our tree trimming page here, see the phone number is still there. Let's get started. As we scroll down, we have let's get started here. And so we also have videos. Video is very powerful as well. So we allow the user or the visitor to our website to easily get in contact with us. Even our contact us page as well. We have a form, call for a free quote, call your local arborist now. We're making it very, very easy for people to get in contact with us. Okay, let's close that tab and I'll reshare my presentation here. Okay, so give me one in the chat if your website is looking like something like that. Well, give me a comment maybe. There's one. Some people happy. Jeff, nope, mine's a single page website. I need to fix that. And I can see how Google might get confused with what I offer. Yeah. Yep, Jim doesn't have area pages for different locations, only the core pages, and he also doesn't mention the area where he works in, so he's going to change that. Okay, perfect. The other thing we want to do, and this is really relevant for getting into the maps, is review and reputation management. Google reviews, Bing reviews, whatever search engines come in the future, we want to make sure that we get good reviews from people that use our services. There's two terms that we use when we talk about collecting reviews. There's the gap of review between yourself and your competitor, and there's a review velocity. Review velocity simply means the rate at which you get reviews, and what you want is a very steady rate. So you want to be getting as many reviews as you can, real reviews, not fake ones, right? As many reviews as you can in a period of a week, 2 weeks, a month, and you want to try to close the gap between your competitors. So for example, Ascension Tree Care has 102 reviews. If their competitor has 200 reviews and they're right there with them in the same geographic area that they operate, then obviously we're going to try and close that gap between 100 and 200. Challenging, for sure. That's a big gap. But nevertheless, the velocity also tells Google, maybe we get 2 or 3 reviews a week that, our Google profile is active and we're active in the area. There is a direct correlation between reviews and positioning Google Maps. There's also a direct correlation between your location, even if you're a service area business, the location that you've registered with your Google Business Profile, and also a direct correlation between that, the reviews, and your website. Reviews create trust in visitors that search for you on the internet. They certainly create trust when you see it on the maps. And also how you handle negative reviews is important as well. Sometimes we get a negative review or a review that is less positive, and you shouldn't discount that review. You should reply to it in a nice, professional way, because people see that. They see the way you respond. Oftentimes people don't trust a negative review actually, but they do trust the way you respond to a review. Sometimes, particularly in tree services, I've noticed you get a bad review because somebody is trying to write a review for a different company that has a similar name, maybe in a different area. So, approach negative reviews in a very professional way, and they'll do you a lot of good for sure. So how do you get Google reviews? That's one question that people ask me. I was speaking to a gentleman who has a tree service company, and they have 6 reviews. They've been in business for more than 15 years. And I said, you've got a lot of work to do to catch up to your competitor, for sure, your local competitor. Think the local competitor had 300 reviews. He didn't have a process in place. And actually what his idea was that was when he sent an invoice out, he would put a link on the invoice that people could click. Unfortunately, we just don't do that as human beings. We naturally don't click and give reviews. It's rare. So how do we get reviews? It's actually very simple. You ask for them. And what you need to do is you need to create a process within your organization where you can ask for a review and you can follow up a couple of times before you give up. Because oftentimes people forget, they need a bit of a nudge. And once they get a nudge, they will leave you a review. You can personally reach out via phone or text for feedback. And those two methods always yield higher response rates than emails. There's a tendency these days to automate everything, but quite honestly, you could get your office manager or somebody in the company or yourself to set some time aside every week to actually phone people or text people and ask them for a review. And I've just given you a little template here. Simple. Hey, Fred, my name is Graham Knight. I'm with Fred's Tree Service Company. How are you doing today? I'm good, thank you. Our records show that we've completed some tree work for you last week, and I'm reaching out for a small favor as we're trying to grow our company and do a lot of good in our community. If I send you a link, do you have 30 seconds to leave us a review? Absolutely, Fred says. Great. I'll just text it to you. Thanks so much. Now, what I can do is I can make a note that I contacted Fred, keep an eye on it for 24 hours. If Fred hasn't given us a review, reach out, text Fred, give him a nudge again. It's as simple as that, nothing complicated. The other way that we could drive traffic to our website, maybe we've optimized a website and it's not bringing us traffic yet because that takes some time for things to kick in, is create a pay-per-click campaign. So Google Ads, for want of a better name, we could use Bing as well. It's a fast way to get leads. There's a couple of different ad types we could use. We could use Google Ads, local service ads. You've probably seen the Google Guaranteed at the top of the website when you search for a plumber or so forth, and Meta ads in Facebook. Now, which one do you pick? That's the thing. Can I see? Let's see who's picking what. What do you guys use? Anybody's using Google Ads? Jeff has local service ads. Tammy has local service ads. Frank has local service ads. Jim's using local service ads and Google Ads. Nobody's using Meta ads. Fair enough. Meta is the ads that you would put on Facebook. They can be very low cost. Local service ads, they're generally a good way to start because you only, in theory, pay for the leads that you actually get. You get the Google Guarantee badge. It goes at the top of the search results. People oftentimes click on those. If it's an approved phone call, so if it sounds like it's a client, then you pay for that click and you see if you can get that client through your sales process. And if it's a telemarketing company or a fake phone call, you archive it and you don't pay for it. That's the theory. Google Ads is a little harder to manage. You have to set up a campaign, you have to set up landing pages, but it can be a very good investment and it can get a lot of leads as well. Oftentimes it depends on the market that you're in. Let's take a look. I'm going to just give me a sec here. Here we go. And I'm just going to type tree removal near me. Okay. Just make sure I'm sharing the right screen here, which I am. Lots of ads, lots of ads. We do have lots of ads here. So, as somebody searching for a tree company, I might look at Green Thumb first because they're the top of the list there. If I scroll down, I see other Google ads here, and then I get to the map pack. So you can see the power of ads. Ads oftentimes is on top of the map pack and on top of the organic results, which are down here. Okay. So one thing I've noticed in the tree service industry is people oftentimes think of advertising as a cost. Reality is, get that right window. Reality is you should think of it as an investment, because for every dollar you put in, you should be getting multiple dollars out through jobs. It's the same thing with SEO. It's the same thing with any marketing. Think of it as an investment. And actually, when you think about how much, marketing funds you put in, I'll talk about this in another webinar, but I think what I've seen is if you're very conservative, you're putting about 7% of revenue in. And if you're very aggressive, you're putting about 15% of revenue in. And that's for all the marketing across the board. So your digital marketing might be a smaller part of that. You might be sending postcards out. You might have billboards. You might put signs on people's lawns when you're doing work as well, decals on trucks, that kind of thing. The good thing about digital marketing, the good thing about pay-per-click, and the good thing about SEO is if you measure the KPIs, you can see the return on investment. You can see if it's working, and if it isn't working, you can pivot and tweak accordingly. And this is just an example of what I mean. So this is from a real Google ad campaign, and we had 319 clicks, and this is back in June. 70 conversions. Now the cost of conversion was $28.17. The overall cost was $1,900. And so about $2,000 of investment. That cost per conversion, $28, is actually pretty good considering we had 70. Okay, so I wrote down some notes about this. The cost is $1.97K. So we had 70 conversions, $28 each. If we closed 30% of those, we would have had 21 opportunities going to our sales funnel. Now, if your average job value is $1,500 and you close 21 of those opportunities that are in your sales funnel, then your revenue would be $31,500 from this month. And so you can clearly see that you put in $2,000 and you got $31,500 back. So the ROI is obvious. And that's a nicely managed Google ad campaign. Okay, so I don't want you to think of it as cost. I want you to think of it as an investment, because that $31,000, if you hadn't had this pay-per-click campaign, wouldn't have come to you. So what I want to think about is let's get going today. Let's really think about this today. And as we head into the fall, let's get these actions going. We want to create an optimized website that's built to convert. If you have a website that isn't optimized, think about how you can make it better. Think about how you can let Google understand more about your website, where you do business and the types of services you give to your customers. Proactive SEO that works. Understandably, not a lot of tree companies have an SEO expert in-house. If you do, that's fantastic. Google Maps optimization as well. Collect reviews, make that a priority if you're not already doing it, and get a process internally in place where you do often ask for reviews, but you also chase up people that haven't responded with a review. If you're finding leads a little slow, then consider a pay-per-click campaign. It's just one little piece of advice here. If you live somewhere like we do, Ottawa, Canada, where you have quite an abrupt winter season, quite often those Google ads don't work, but the local service ads do work, because obviously you only pay for the calls you get. With Google ads, you pay for clicks, and sometimes you get clicks and no conversions. So what we do is we switch budgets between different ad types depending on the seasons. I also put down social media presence and email marketing campaign. I'm not going to go too deeply in those, but posting on social media, getting more people into your Facebook page, etc., and keeping them updated regularly is a good thing. Same thing with having an email marketing campaign, maybe sending a newsletter once every month, giving offers to people depending on the season, reminding people that this is the type of plant care they should do in this particular month, etc. And of course, remember to measure those KPIs to see if things are happening effectively. Talking about measuring KPIs, precision tracking of KPIs, you could simply set up a spreadsheet. Here's a couple of examples here. There's one on the left, which is Google Ads, and one on the right, which is the organic search. We use call tracking, we use Google Analytics, we use tools to actually see where these leads come from. And you can also put down your closing rate of your company, your average job value. Based on the number of leads you come in, you know the number of conversions you're going to get. And so you can figure out your potential additional revenue from the activities that you put in place. And that gives you a litmus paper. And it also helps you understand different months and different seasons. And it also helps you understand where you can allocate marketing budget in those seasons as well. That's pretty much the end of the workshop here. Give you some things to think about. You can reach out anytime to talk to us. You can schedule an appointment at arboristgrowthpartners.com, and you can talk to me directly if you had any questions. Let's open this up and see if we have any questions coming in now. Turn screen share off. There we go. There, my smiling face. So does anybody have any questions for me? Okay, Kerry is asking, am I going to go into details about what I just spoke about? Yes. So this was kind of an overview workshop where, I give you an idea of the things that you can do yourself and what you should do yourself as well, but it may not include the how. So what I'm going to do is have different workshops through the months about specific areas. So for example, we'll go deeply into website optimization, structure of website, how to make sure it converts. We'll talk about pay-per-click. We'll talk about social media and all of those things as well. Jim says, I better get started now because it's feeling cold outside. Yeah, absolutely. We're all busy. We're all busy. And especially tree service companies in the summer, it's a gold rush. Things look amazing. The work is coming in. We're too busy. We can't cope with the workload. Maybe we have to hire some temporary climbers or contract climbers to come and help us with the work. But as soon as that cold weather comes in, and as soon as the schools go back, and as soon as people shift their attention from their gardens or their yards back to normal life after the summer, things start slowing down. So it's important to get in front of that for sure. Jeff says, can we reach out? Yep, absolutely. Reach out directly. We can have a chat. We can have a look at your website as well and give you some hints and tips. Okay, thanks for the presentation. No problem. That was my first webinar, my first workshop, so I hope it was useful. I'm going to work on these things and see if I can improve them as well and see if I can bring you more valuable content going forward. If you think of anything specifically you would like to go through, do let me know. Send me an email, graham@arboristgrowthpartners.com, or schedule a call and let me know. And in the meantime, I will send this out so you can go through it again at your leisure. And also, if you're on our email list, I'll make sure that you hear about the next webinar. I'll publish that on Facebook when that's going to be as well. Hopefully you'll join me, and hopefully we will have some good discussions, and I'll be able to give you even more value. Thanks so much for being here. See you soon.